Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's had a fantastic weekend so far. A lot of good stuff happening this week. Especially because Marvel did something very interesting on Disney Plus, which, as you all have guessed it, with the title and everything. And I'm sure you guys have known us by now. If it's something Marvel, of course, we're gonna talk about it, which is the new short film Werewolf by Night. I would say short film slash just
It was like a TV special. I think they're called like Marvel specials or something. That's kind of like the titling they're going for these type of things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, essentially that's exactly what it is. It is a very special thing. It is the first of its kind, and it was a very interesting thing. I really enjoyed it. This is gonna be a light spoiler episode because we do want you guys to watch this. I think if you're a Marvel fan and if you like Halloween stuff, this is a perfect combination for you. But before we get into the light spoilery review for this episode, episode slash TV special, don't forget to give us a like just to show your support. Ring the bell so you can stay up to date on whenever we drop our next video, and of course subscribe so that way you just you're involved in all assets of everything. So we appreciate it, guys. But anyways, this was a very interesting one. A very interesting cast, just because Gal Garcia Bernal, I haven't really seen him in much. I know he was in that M. Night Shyamalan movie earlier this year.
Right?
Yeah, I think it's called Old. And he's a good actor. I haven't really seen him in too much, but everything I have seen him in, I really liked him in. So I just thought it was interesting for this.
The thing maybe people have seen, well, not seen him technically, but recognize him most from, if they were to recognize him, is from Coco. He was Hector in Coco, my favorite Pixar movie. So yeah, but yeah, like not a lot of like high profile things, but and the things I've seen him in, he's been great.
Yeah, he's awesome. And then I had a couple of like handful of actors I've really never seen in anything before, like Laura Donnelly. I know she was in something called The Nevers, but other than that, I've really never seen her in anything else. She kind of reminded me of that one girl from The Walking Dead. I forgot her name, but kind of reminded me
yeah,
of.
you're right.
You know who
I
I'm talking about. Yeah. She just looked a lot like her, like almost like it could be related. And other than that, it was really interesting. So for those of you who don't know Werewolf by Night, neither do I. But what I can gather is that he's one of the supernatural characters of Marvel, almost like an anti-hero, I think, just because he's a werewolf. And this one takes place in just this random estate. I'm not sure where it's at, to be honest. They didn't really say. But I did like the fact that it's like monsters and like the darker supernatural side of Marvel has been around since the very beginning, and now Marvel's starting to dive deep into that, especially since we've already gone into space. So now I think they're trying to not only kind of explore other parts of it, but they're also exploring home, like Earth, and like those other aspects of it and stuff, like supernatural. And all these hunters are gathered for this special ritual night to kill off a monster that is possessed or has possession of this thing called the Bloodstone, which kind of reminded me of I can't think of it right now, but I like when I was watching, I was like, oh, that's interesting. That reminds me of this, but I'm blanking out right now. And their mission is just to kill it, but also if they get in the way, kill each other, kind of thing, which is pretty ruthless. I was like, damn, that's a little too sporty for me, and. Man, it was a majority of it, like 99% of this movie was in black and white, which I thought it really worked for me. It's directed by Michael, how do I say his last name, Bern?
Michael Giacchino.
Giacchino, thank you. Who is one of the best composers in the industry. He's been responsible for some of the biggest scores in pop culture. Bern, why don't you, because my mind is blanking, what is Michael Giacchino responsible for?
I mean, yeah, like he is one of the biggest working composers today. I mean, he's done the Spider-Man movies for Marvel. He also did the first Doctor Strange movie. He's the man behind the opening Marvel title scroll. You know, the ones that we hear before every movie and TV show. He's done that. And this year, he's also the one behind the score for the Batman, which is one of my favorite superhero scores. So yeah, I mean, he's done a few things, other things too, like in different genres. He did, I think, Rogue One's score also. So he has his hands in all these other different pots, and And yeah, I mean, especially in Pixar, also, I think I believe he's also the one that did The Incredibles and a few other Pixar movies. So yeah, he's great. He's again, like I said, he's one of the best working composers today.
And after this, I would definitely say he's a very solid, TV streaming director because this was really good. I really enjoyed the homage to, the old fashioned black and white Universal picture monsters like the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, and mixed with some Marvel action. And this was the goriest movie, or goriest thing I think they've done. I think I mean even it's up there with like Doctor Strange, if not worse than Doctor Strange. So, because Multiverse of Madness has some gruesome moments in it, but like I said, I loved it. I love the action. I love the violence, and it introduced Man Thing, which has been like I think hinted at for so long. I think even Iron Man 3, the one,
Oh, really?
yeah, because I want to say the one chick with the who was infected with extremis. She was the girl with the one arm who kind of tried to kill Tony. I think she was tied to Man Thing years
Oh, wow.
ago. Yeah, because like hold on, let me look that up real quick. But anyways, so it's been one of those things. They've always thrown subtle hints at Man Thing and other stuff, and we finally get to see him in action, which you think with something like that would be kind of horrifying, but he was actually such a joy to see. Just him and Gal Garcia Bernal as Jack Russell, aka Werewolf by Night, was it was just wholesome. I was like, this is a friendship I want to see explored. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this special was pretty awesome. Like, I didn't really have much anticipation for it. Like, when it was announced, I was like, oh, that could be pretty cool. But there wasn't like anywhere near any of my like anticipated things that were coming out this year. So, once I watched it, it was a pretty awesome surprise. Like, Michael Giacchino, this being like, I don't think this is like his directorial debut. I think he's directed a couple shorts like here and there, but this is like basically like his first step into like bigger like filmmaking, even this being just like an hour long special. But I think he did such a great job with this one. The atmosphere from the get-go was very palpable, like the whole black and white aesthetic, the whole the set design and making it look very like gothic, and as you said, like a homage to the old Universal horror movies of the 1930s. It all came together so well. And yeah, Gael Garcia Bernal as Jack Russell, he was great, and also Laura Donnelly as Elsa Bloodstone. Again, these are two characters that I really know nothing about, so I'm coming in pretty fresh on these in this one, and kind of like taking it at face value, and they were very interesting, the both of them, and a couple like really cool characters that have like some awesome action and also like fit into this supernatural lore corner that it seems like Marvel's starting to build out, with the coming of Blade that we're expecting, the tease of the Black Knight, and at the end of Eternals. So it's like it seems like this is something that they are gonna try to push forward, going forward in the MCU, and I think this is a really awesome start, with these two especially, and like I said, Man Thing as well, like really cool stuff that we got to see in this special, and I think it was like pretty expertly well done for the hour that we got from it.
Yeah, it was a very easy watch, very very well paced. Again, it was just very well shot in general, and with it being black and white, the more you watch it, the more you notice that grainy look to it. So it's not just a clean black and white like some movies do. So I respected that. But yeah, I just looked it up real quick. So like I said, the girl that was involved in Extremis that had the one arm in the thing, and she tried to kill Tony at the snow town in that town in Colorado. That is Ted's, aka Man Thing's ex-wife. So I remember when I saw Iron Man 3, I was like, oh shit, like, so Man Thing is around, and here we are like 10 years later, or 9 years later, Man Thing's finally come up. So it's celebrated by all.
Well, I guess it's safe to say she's gonna stay in next because well, she's dead.
Yeah, she's definitely she is dead. And she is the ex-wife. So depending on who you ask, that's probably better. I'm just kidding. But Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it. Especially the werewolf part was really cool. Great action. Very again, it was very simple design too. Like because in the comics he's much more of like a wolf head creature, like full on beast mode. But this one was
Hmm.
more. They kind of blended that with the Wolfman aspect, where it's mostly Guile's face, just with some wolf features to him, and then his face, his like war paint almost like a tribute to his culture, his family. That was actually a nice little touch to it. Added a little bit more aesthetic to him. And honestly, I would rate this a 5 out of 5. Just because it was just a nice little special, perfect for the Halloween season. I think maybe if they released it a little bit closer, it may be a little better. But at the same time, we got all month to
Hmm.
rewatch it, especially right when Halloween happens. And I think it was just a very fun, self-contained story. Every technically another achievement, and I'm glad Michael Giacchino is just becoming he's adding more to his portfolio talent wise. So I really enjoyed this. I'm a huge werewolf person. That's also kind of why I'm a little biased.
Yeah, I definitely know that you're a huge werewolf person, and yeah, that's great that you enjoyed it that much. I wasn't expecting you to really like dig it that much, but I mean, I mean, I got to second your like your feeling on this. It's like this was really just well done, like for a special, it was very economic storytelling. It got in, got out. Like we got to know the characters. I think Gil Garcia Bernal did such a great job of adding a lot of like pathos and empathy to this like character. Like again, the difference between him and the werewolf, I thought they did that very well. Where he's a very gentle, kind person, and then once you go into werewolf, it's like the complete opposite of that. So it just adds to that like tragic nature of a werewolf story that we come to want from that kind of thing. Where it is a curse, and it does feel that way. And yeah, the action here was really well done. Like a lot of the wire work was cool. The choreography was very distinct, I think, for like the werewolf, and Elsa's choreography as well was very distinct too. And just the shot composition was really great. Again, working with the black and white to great effect, along with a lot of the gore they were able to get away with because of the black and white. But yeah, I was very impressed by this, especially for Michael Giacchino being like not really like a director, more of a composer. So to get something like this was really cool. I think I'm just gonna I'll give it a 4 out of 5 because by the end of it, I was left a little bit wanting more. Not in a bad way. I was kind of hoping that the other hunters got a little bit more characterization than we did get. But I understand because of the time constraints. You really got to hone in on your main players. So like that, it is what it is in that case. But hopefully, with the good reception that we got here, we'll hopefully get some more from this corner of the Marvel universe because yeah, this is a lot of really cool and interesting stuff, and it's very exciting. And I hope Marvel does more of these things where it feels very. It's not that it is disconnected, but it just feels like it's its own like thing where you don't have to rely on a lot of the whole other MCU titles to go in and like enjoy it. You can enjoy this thing on its own, and someone that just wanted to come in and watch this like every year as just like a Halloween special, they could do that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I just want to see the. I want to see the Midnight, and like everybody else, I want to see the Midnight Suns come into play, like
Oh yeah,
him, Blade, Moon Knight. Um, who else would be involved?
I would like to see Ghost Rider. Ghost
Ghost
Rider and Blade
Rider's a
would be
big
cool.
one. Yeah, I think them and the Black Knight, since Blade and him are going to work together essentially, and even Morbius if they do decide to bring in him into the MCU for whatever reason. I think that would be kind of like a interesting team up because that's basically covering all the assets of supernatural stuff right there. We got magic, we got monsters, we got some a little bit of science in there. So I think that'd be really a good team up, and I'm glad that they're kind of diving deep into it. I wouldn't mind a little more connectivity, just to kind of just a little more acknowledgement of the rest of the world, but at the same
Hmm.
time, it does work that because they're almost like She-Hulk and Daredevil, where they're such street level characters, except for Blade. Blade does a little more presence along with Ghost Rider, but it's working so far. So I'm really digging it, and I hope they kind of do a series on this stuff, like Werewolf by Night and whatnot soon. So we will have to see.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely excited to see where they go with this, and I'm very much looking forward to now what their next specials are going to be. I know later this year we're going to get that Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, essentially. So that should be really fun. You know, if it's anything like this, then I'm excited, and I'm curious what other types of heroes or stories they're going to tell with this special format. I think it really works. I think it's interesting to have this on top of, you know, the TV shows and the movies. Like, it's another avenue of storytelling, and I hope Marvel takes advantage of that to make this sort of like one shots type of thing that could or could not, you know, work in the bigger MCU movies. But hopefully, you know, it's things that people enjoy so much that they want more of, you know, like I do with this thing.
Exactly. But guys, let us know in the comments, what did you like about this? I mean, have you seen it? You know, did you guys like the Werewolf by Night? Did you like the horror aspect of it? We would love to know. But also check out our review for Hellraiser. That's gonna be a non-spoiler one because it's Hellraiser. If you've seen the original, you know it's a lot. But anyways, guys, stay tuned for that in our House of Dragon review. And of course, guys, as always, stay bodacious and keep on ranting.
Absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one.